Hello everybody, welcome back to Devils United. I thought I'd try a review show on the game. I was hoping that it would be a much better result to talk about, but it's not. Manchester United 0, Brighton 1. The defeats in the top 11 still continues for Manchester United, as they've only beat one team in the top 11, Fulham, away. 1-0 to Brighton, and if you want me to be honest, you can't even argue at that point. It was deserved for Brighton. They're the best team overall. There will be a lot of criticism when at this moment in time of that Luke Shaw cost us the game. I do think it was very, very stupid to do a handball. But I'm not going to blame Luke Shaw for the defeat, just because we should be doing a lot better than what we have done in the first half. I'm going to get the stats up for the game, going to get the line up, going to give me an analysis for the first and second half, going to do some player ratings as well. So, but I'll say hi to people who's in the chat. Hey there, Patrick. Thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. Hey there, Bobby K. Thank you for coming in. Hope that you are well. Good evening, Statman. Thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. Endsman, hey there to you. Thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. Hey there, Rather. Thank you for coming in. Hope that you are well. Hey there, Sophia. Hope you're well. Thank you for coming into the chat. Hey there, Edda. Thank you for coming in. Hope that you are well. This is going to be a hard one. How do our United stop a 6-0 confident and hunger for revenge? Big up as usual. Big up to yourself. Hey there, Reese. Thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. Thank you for the lovely words. Now, there's losing a game, but losing it like it is painful. We could end up losing out on the Champions League. That is a very good point. We could lose out on the Champions League. We have one game in hand compared to Arsenal on other teams around us. I don't know who the game in hand is. Chelsea. Chelsea's not been so well this season, but you need to look at under the same breath. They will turn up against us. It's the second to last game of the season, so Brighton deserved that. We were beyond pathetic. Big up, Rather. Respect always. Thank you very much, Reese. Absolute disgrace. 9 minutes are done when they pull 5 and we lost again because of that. Hey there, Vincent. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Hey there, Niall. Thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. No need to apologise. Good to see you as always. I'll get to your comment later on, Rather. Bottled it big time. If it was 0-0, it would have been a different conversation and a match reaction for sure. Martial is useless. To be fair, great pen by McAllister. You don't save those as a goalkeeper. Absolutely, Niall. I completely agree with that. And good evening to our Lumber. Thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. Always good to see you. De Gea doesn't know how to save penalties. I wouldn't trust De Gea to play. I'll get to everyone's questions soon. I want to do something. I would have seen it as more of a laugh if the result didn't happen how it happened, but I'm still going to do it to try and get some kind of little bit of positive, laughter in the chat. We've seen this before the game. So, if people didn't know, Paul Ince was slagging off Erik ten Hag to say Ten Hag didn't want to have a drink with him after the game, after the clash against Reading. Paul Ince has been sacked. What shame, he's now a pundit. So what Erik ten Hag has done, he got him a bottle of wine, saying that he owed him. To be honest, I did find it a little bit funny because of what Paul Ince has said. But I can't laugh at it anymore. But yeah, It was great as always. Fartiel, as he puts it. I'm gonna put both the lineups on. This has got player ratings on for both the sides, so this is not my ratings, by the way. It's the app's ratings. Will I agree with the ratings? Most likely not. Well, actually, I don't know, to be honest. So we'll just have a look what the ratings are for the game. I mean, the lineups for both the teams. So Manchester United's lineup was David De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, Luke Shaw, Diogo Dalot, Fred, Casemiro, Anthony Fernandez, Rashford, Fartiel, as I will now call him. There was a few changes into that squad. One for me personally, I wouldn't have started Dalot. I'm not a fan of Dalot, and then you're looking there on that right hand side. Casado is fantastic. I must be honest, I don't know much about the number 40 for Brighton, so I'm not gonna comment on a player who I don't know much of. I've not watched much of. But for me, that Aston Villa game, Malacia was probably player of the match for me, closely followed by Luke Shaw. So I would have personally put on Malacia as a starting 11 player. And if, for instance, that because Malacia started at the weekend, take him off after so long and then put on Dalot. Dalot was disgraceful in the game. And he has, week in, week out, he has proven to me that he is not a starting 11 player at Manchester United. He is not good enough to be at Manchester United. Another change was Fred for Eriksen. I know Eriksen is recently coming back in terms of an injury. So we do know that Eriksen can't be playing every single game week in, week out. And that was the first time as well that Fred has started since the 7-0 defeat at Anfield. So it is going to be questionable. I don't think Fred was great either. I would have probably preferred to have played Bruno Fernandes in the 8 and then play Sabitzer in the 10, just because that has worked for Manchester United. And don't get me started on Anthony Fartiel, I'm going to call him now. He does not deserve to be on that starting 11 pitch. I am going to say something. People are going to disagree with me on this, but I would much rather have started Weghorst than start Anthony Martial. He's useless. He does not run. He can't pass a ball. He can't shoot. I want to know what is this guy good at? He's not good at anything, as far as I'm aware. But if I was gonna obviously be realistic, I would have. I probably would have played Rashford in the middle and then played Sancho on the left. But Sancho, again, he ain't good enough to be starting at the moment. So it's a tough one, to be honest. But you're looking here now at the Brighton lineup, and Brighton as well did have a different 11. They had Jason Steele there in the goalkeeper role. He has been starting ahead of Sanchez this season. You have got Estupian, Dunk, Webster, and Casado. Casado doesn't really usually play as a right back. It does tend to be played in the pivot. So Billy Gilmore is playing in the middle there alongside World Cup winner Alexis McAllister. You've got Mitoma. You've got NCO, Bucanate, and Welbeck. It was a good start at 11. I must be honest. Great back four, great midfield. I would have personally rather played, if I was a Brighton manager, I probably would have rather played McAllister a bit further forward, but of course it's worked for them and they got the win. And then, of course, when you look at the game in itself, I'll get that up. I'm going to get the momentum up for Manchester United, and I'm going to also bring up the stats as well for Manchester United as well. So here is the momentum in the game. As you can see, Manchester United had the most momentum throughout the game. You can see Brighton had a little bit of spells every 10 minutes or so, but Manchester United in that first half had the majority of that momentum. We had quite a lot of shots as well in the game too, so there is no excuse why we couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. Anthony should have had a goal. Rashford, I think he was poor. Manchester United had 16 total shots, 5 shots on target. Most of them was in that first half. And then into the second half, Brighton in total had 22 total shots. And you can see here, the second half, it was all Brighton. Everything was Brighton in that second half. And Manchester United defended for their lives. And it just really was not good enough from the Manchester United side. But we'll go on to the comments, and then we'll do a bit of analysis. Question from Rather. Thoughts on Martial? How did he miss one-on-one? The point is, Ravi, he's just simply not good enough. He is not. He's been at Manchester United for 8 years. And I'm going to say this. Been at Manchester United 8 years. It's had 1.5 good seasons. 1.5. And people say, well, Luke Shaw's not had many good seasons. But you need to look at under the same breath is that Luke Shaw has had a leg break he had a leg break. Anthony Martial, there is simply no reason why he should not be performing under Erik ten Hag, why he shouldn't have been performing under Ole, why he wasn't performing there under Jose Mourinho, why he wasn't performing under Louis van Gaal. Enough's enough. If he's lazy, he doesn't run, he doesn't pass, he doesn't shoot, he doesn't score. I genuinely don't know what this guy does. I genuinely do not know. And the problem is that he will not get the criticism like other players do get on that pitch. He was by far the worst player. Mays, thoughts on the shape of the team? It's the same as the shape we have every single week, Rabbi. We have the 4-2-3-1. Nothing really expected. Why Weghorst? Why Sancho on the right from Tualumba? I can understand why Sancho came on is because Lewis Dunk and Anthony had that little bit of a squabble, and Anthony did do a very silly foul, what caused him to have a yellow card. So I can understand why Anthony got taken off, because I think if Anthony's very hot-headed, so I can understand why Sancho came on. Why Weghorst came on, I don't have a clue. You're 0-0. You want to bring on players who can score, but you want to bring on Weghorst. It doesn't make sense. Martial getting 84 minutes, like why? Again, this team misses out of Garnacho from Reece. Completely agree with you there. Question for you, Mays. Erik ten Hag, your thoughts on his overall tactics for the game and his subs? Personally, I think ten Hag has made sloppy errors recently and we aren't learning. Hope he fixes up. Yeah, I don't think his substitutes have been great. I don't think his tactics have been great. But you need to look at under the same breath. I'm not going to give up on ten Hag easily. I'm not going to say ten Hag out anytime soon. It's his first season. He's won us a cup. I think, yes, I could be frustrated with what he's doing because Harry Maguire shouldn't ever come on as a substitute. Neither should Wout Weghorst. Neither should Sancho with the way he's playing. But the problem is who we got else. Garnacho is injured. Anthony Elanga, he can't score from an open barn. Palestra, he's been great, but I wouldn't have risked him. So I do think they've wronged the tactics, but I do also think what other options he got. If he continues to do this after this season, then you do need to start questioning that. But I'm not going to be Eric Ten Hag out anytime soon, that's for sure. Tactics were questionable, too much loyalty to the same players, no passion. If you want me to be honest, there is a lot of favouritism for Antony. There is a lot of favouritism for Rashford. Because let's be honest, yeah, Rashford's been great. He's been scoring. He's got 26 goals, brilliant. But Rashford, it feels like if Rashford doesn't turn up, the team doesn't turn up. And this is what everybody slagged off with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is. Um, this team relies on individual brilliance, but this is the exact same what we're doing under Eric Ten Hag. We're relying on individual brilliance yet again. We're relying on Rashford to turn up. We're relying on Bruno to turn up. We're relying on Casemiro to turn up. And if none of the three turn up, nobody turns up. And this is what the problem is with the mentality of this team. Paulins after the game, and it wanted to get with the Brighton fans and Deds on the pitch. You said, "What a clown." The Brighton fans getting televised celebrations as well. What the hell? They're acting like the Flaming Geordies. To be honest, I wouldn't go that far, Reese. I wouldn't, but I can understand why Brighton fans are so happy. We got a last-minute penalty a few years ago, and it was a penalty. There was no question about that. Hey there, curlers. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming in. United can't score at the moment. Not helped with crap refs and VAR calls as well. How Casado and Matoma, we're not giving reds is beyond me. Sick of this sick bias crap. I agree. I do think Casemiro could have got a red card because he made some very silly mistakes. But Mitoma did a clear and obvious dive in that first half. That should have been a yellow card. Every single player who dives should get a yellow card. Cut it out. Casado made some very, very bad mistakes in that game. I'm not too sure why De Zerbi was to play him there in the fullback role, but I don't think it worked out for him. So I agree. The thing is, people say, "Oh, bias Man United because Casemiro should have got sent off. Brighton should have had a few pens." But I look at the same breath. The ref was poor on both sides. Fred was supposed to have been off on the 60th minute. Fartiel is clear he's not good enough for the Prem. Fartiel couldn't score the target practice. Maisy away form against top 12 clubs. We have one win. It's shocking, absolutely shocking. Gilmore was fantastic from Reese. Great to see Billy Gilmore playing. He had to wait his chance and grabbed it by both hands from Niall. Yeah, Billy Gilmore was great. I think for me, he was played a bit out of position, but with yourself and Reese and Gary, who's in the chat, are Scotland fans, you'll be able to tell me a bit clearer. But I think playing as a defensive midfielder, what's not really suited to him, I think he played fantastic. I wonder what Palestri has to do to get in that team. Anthony plays every game. His temper doesn't help. I'm not a fan of Anthony, if you want me to be honest, Walumba. And I think he's very one-footed. He's got a massive temper. He's very frustrating. He gives the ball away, and people say Bruno gives the ball away, and Ericsson gives the ball away, and Cass gives the ball away. But no one looks at but when you slate Anthony for giving the ball away, how can you slate Anthony off? It's one thing for one person and one thing for another. The defence was okay. The penalty was unfortunate. The front line is what bothers me. I agree, and that's what I said. I think Luke Shaw was at fault, but I can't slate Luke Shaw under the same breath because we should be doing a lot better further forward. Palestri left wing with Anthony right wing. No, I won't put like I don't think Anthony deserves to start, Reese. I'm sorry, but he needs to be dropped. Gilmore is the man. Hey there, I hope you're well. Thanks for coming in, Gary. Confirmed Manchester United need a possible 9 out of 15 to achieve top 4, or I am not confident. Let's have a look at Manchester United's last so many fixtures. Now we do talk about that. I know we'll be doing previews and stuff coming ahead, but we'll just take a look. So we've got West Ham on Sunday. That's going to be at the London Stadium. We've got Manchester United versus Wolves, Bournemouth versus Manchester United, Manchester United versus Chelsea, Manchester United versus Fulham. If we get our home wins, I think we will get the top. We will get the top 4 if the 9 points was the deemed to be correct. West Ham, I should be hoping that we should be getting at least a point out of that. And Bournemouth, they're doing well, especially at home. So I am feeling a bit more on edge for Bournemouth. But I do think they are going to be staying up. So I think realistically we should be getting a win out of all the games what we've got left, but we can't be set that we are going to be getting the win. Question, Maze, who should play in the pivot for you? I would either play Cass or Ericsson or Cass and Bruno. They would be two I'd play in the pivot. And if, for instance, Bruno was to play in the pivot, then I would play Sabitzer on the 10. Question, can you see Manchester United cutting ties with Weghorst from Niall? I don't think Weghorst will be staying. Weghorst will return back to Burnley, and then Burnley will decide what Weghorst decides to do, what they'll decide to do with him, basically. Hey there, Matt from Football United TV. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Rubbish performance. It was absolutely shocking. I completely agree. If Anthony got even more frustrated, he would have been definitely sent off. The change was bang on. Ten Hag is the right man for the job. It's just the players and the owners who are making his life a living tough. We've seen a picture as well with Ten Hag holding the green and yellow scarf, and people presume Ten Hag wants the Glazers out. But let's be real. Probably all managers at Manchester United since Fergie has wanted the Glazers out. Mays, will United move some players this summer? I think we will move on some players. We've got some players out of contract. We've got De Gea, Dalot, Rashford. We've got about 4 players up for contract anyway, from what I can think off the top of my head. Hi. All right, all. Hey there, Andrew. Thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. Gutted about tonight. We had held on for so long, and then that brain fart. There was a lot of passion on display tonight. They just didn't have the quality. If Anthony wasn't 80 mil or more and say 40 mil, he won't be getting as much criticism. Maybe so, but under the same breath, even for 40 mil, I don't think he's good enough. You can't say he's not good enough because he's an 80, 90 mil player. It's not his fault what the price tag is at the end of the day. It was what Ajax valued him at, which even so, I don't understand how Ajax valued him as high as he did, because his stats were horrendous at Ajax. Big up Mays, quality analysis. I don't think that refs were biased at all. I agree. I don't think the refs were biased. I think both teams did have decisions against them. Hey there, Liam. Thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. Disappointed with the result, but we've only got ourselves to blame. Absolutely. I completely agree with you, Liam. Was that Free from Desire song all about you? Will think Brighton just won a gold medal? To be honest, you can understand why Brighton are happy. Just one of them. I feel disgusted. So do I, Brush. I hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Hey there, EK. Hope you are well. Thanks for coming in. Nice profile picture you've got there of Jacob Murphy. Was that from the Tottenham game, I'm presuming? Question, Maze, what do you think United need to do on a whole to perform? I don't think we've got any more big teams anyway to play, to be honest. So we just have to see what's what at right now. Cool. That's cool, John. Hey there, Gary. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Well, at least you're having a better season than us. Yeah, that's true. Also, Pedro Porro can't defend to save his life. Sorry, I had to mention that with Sporting. To be honest, Gary, this is what I said about Pedro Porro, and people, I don't know if you ever watched it, but I said with Pedro Porro, he's a terrific win back. In terms of going forward, is fantastic. He doesn't hardly give the ball away. He's very strong in the attack. He's great with his crossing. He's great with his feet. But the problem is when you convert into the back four. When you convert into the back four, he is extremely sloppy. He gets caught out in his one-on-ones. He cannot defend. And with Tottenham recently playing in that back four as well, it's just he's not good enough, and we know that really got identified for me when he played with Spain, because before the Spain game I'd never seen Porro in the back four, but I presumed that he was not good enough in the back four based off how he plays, because I've watched him for several seasons at Sporting. But yeah, I agree, he can't defend, especially in that back four. Maisy is always bang on. Thank you, Reese. Thank you as well, Rather. Question Maze, we need to sell before we can spend in the summer. Do you think we'll make significant... This is what the problem is, Reese, is currently we've got the ongoing selling situation with the Glazers, and I think it's not going to happen. I'm going to take it as a pinch of salt with the Glazers, and especially if they're still in that bidding process, we're not going to get anyone big unless we do sell. They're not going to even take any money out to invest in it, because they're not going to want to put themselves further into debt based because of the books. Maze, what's your opinion on the short corners from Toowoomba? They did them the whole night. I hate those. I hate the short corners. I really, really hate the short corners. You've got terrific people who can play in the corners. Fernandez, Luke Shaw, Rashi can do it. You've got Sabitzer who can do it. And what's the need of doing it when you've got brilliant corner kick takers? I don't understand it. His first touch is good. His first touch is brilliant, but it's just his defending can be woeful. Comments on Porro is similar to Ethan Led. Yeah, I haven't watched Ethan Led in the back four, so it's hard for me to say at the moment, but I take your word for it 100%, Andrew, especially knowing that you've watched him yourself for Swansea. Maze, which areas do you think United are lacking in games? For the attacking, we just don't have anyone who can score goals. Okay, so let's go on to my analysis on the first half. The first half, we was definitely the more attacking team. Anthony, he had a couple of shots. I think he was quite selfless at time to time, where he could have shot, but he passed it to Bruno. Rashford, he was getting caught out massively, and I just don't think for me is I personally don't think that Rashford should be playing on the left at this point now, because I know Rashford's great in terms of his pace, and that can really help us, but how can I say, he's not a type of player to cross, so that means he's going to have to do his one-on-ones, and then when it comes to his one-on-ones, he's giving the ball away. His possession is poor. I'm trying to... Casemiro got a yellow card. Well, it was deserved. Fred, he was poor. I think for me, the only player who really turned up was Anthony, and I think Lindelof was poor. Wan-Bissaka had some good spells. Dalot was poor. Shaw was semi-decent as well. De Gea, I think he was it was due to him. I would probably say that it wasn't a goal fest, let's just say, for Brighton compared to how it was last time we went to the Amex last season. The second half, we were extremely sloppy. Yellow cards given to Manchester United. Anthony's was deserved. He was lucky to not get a red. Casemiro was lucky he didn't get a red card, because he did make some massive mistakes. He could have potentially given the penalty away. And I do feel sorry for Luke Shaw in that way, because Luke Shaw gave the penalty away due to a handball. I agree it was a handball, but as I've said, I cannot fault Luke Shaw for that loss. You cannot fault a player who's... He was probably the second best defender on that pitch after Wan-Bissaka, because Wan-Bissaka, he was great against Matoma. it wasn't many times Matoma was able to get the better of him. It was only when Dalot was moving around. But something I didn't really understand, I don't know if you've noticed it, was that Dalot and Luke Shaw was swapping at time to time. So I've seen Dalot play as a centre back. And I think, personally, in my personal opinion, I don't think if Luke Shaw's playing as a centre back, stay as a centre back. Do not move over. Don't swap sides. Dalot is poor at defending. There's not many fullbacks who is worse than Dalot at defending. It's shocking. And the fact he is having to move to the left-hand side so he could actually defend a bit better, it just says enough about the player. I don't think he's good enough. I think he should be sold. Well, gone on a free. I would have put Maisy on. I took him off because I don't think he's good enough. Who else is there? Yeah. The substitutes were pretty poor as well. I think Sabitzer gave a little bit of quality, gave a little bit of fire coming into that second half. Sancho didn't make much of an impact. Weghorst, might as well stayed on the bench, mate. You bring on players to score a goal and then you bring on Weghorst. Like, come on, man. Like, and that's what you've got to blame Ten Hag for, is the substitutes. But I can't, at this point, right now, I can't turn on the man. I think his tactics got wrong, but I can't turn on him to the fact that I want him out based on these tactics as well. I've always said this season's going to be more of an experiment season, and the following season is when we should really see a much better United. And if we aren't improving, then you do need to raise questions there in the squad in terms of Ten Hag as well. Garrett, unpopular opinion. To be a possession-based attacking team, you need to get rid of Rashford and Bruno to recycle the ball. I understand where you're coming from with that, Garrett. And if that was last season, I would have said I would have happily got rid of Rashford. The problem is when Bruno Fernandes doesn't play, we don't have anybody who is able to service the ball, who's able to create anything. And we've witnessed that this season, 4 games, 4 losses. Well, 4 games, 3 losses, and the win was against Charlton. You're winning against a League One team, and if you're playing any other team, you're losing. So I understand what you mean with both Bruno and Rashford, but I've always thought no matter what manager we've had, we've never been good in possession-based football, and I don't mind playing counter-attacking football because people say when we're at Old Trafford, we should be having 60% possession. We should be having more possession over another team, and this is what the problem is possession stats for me mean nothing. If you're winning a game and you've got 30% possession, you're not going to look at that possession and go, oh, this team was better because they've had 60% possession. I just think even if we was to get rid of Rashford and Bruno, I still think we'll play a lot better on the counter-attack, to be honest. But I definitely see where you're coming from, and if we do want to be possession-based, that they will be who you will get rid of, and Anthony would be another one who you'd need to get rid of because he's not good in possession either. Hey there, Russ. Thanks for coming in. Hope that you are well. I'm well, thank you. Minus the game. Man United's next 5 games: West Ham away, Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, Fulham at home. If we get all our home wins, we should get top 4. But we still should be still getting wins against West Ham and Bournemouth. But the one I'm actually most uncomfortable for now would be actually Bournemouth, which I never thought I'd say. Big up, chat. Crazy result. Hey there, Jack. I'm well, thanks. Hope you are well. Sure, can't be doing that in the last seconds of the game. As a neutral, Ten Hag was extremely naive tactically. The last 30 minutes of the game was so open on the counter. Completely agree. I think they was fantastic on the counter and on that momentum, as I've shown. They literally had the most momentum in the game, especially in that second half. It was absolutely fantastic. But you're going to see here that Luke Shaw's going to get all the criticism, and I agree. No one should be doing handballs like that, but under the same breath, the forward players we've got: Marcus Rashford, 26 goals. He couldn't even get a shot. You've got Fartiel, I'm gonna call him Fartiel, who was supposed to have been the next player from Manchester United to win Ballon d'Or, and you're going to pay Monaco a big fee if you won Ballon d'Or. Well, what did that turn out as? You've got £90 million Anthony, which I'm not going to slag him off based off his price tag. I'm going to say that he's not good enough based on he can't even use his feet. I think he's improved in his game. I think he's improved in his crossing. He's being a little bit selfless, but he's still not good enough to be a Manchester United player. De Gea, big save, absolutely. He kept us in that game, to be honest. Our best player tonight was Wan-Bissaka from Andrew. Did really well against Matoma. I thought Matoma bitched Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So that isn't helping in inverted fullbacks. I think we definitely did miss Luke Shaw in the fullback role, but I'd still rather play Luke Shaw as a centre back than play Harry Maguire. Hey there, Luca. I'm well, thank you. Hope that you are well. Manchester United for me weren't good. I would say for me, Dalot isn't good. This is the thing, right? I have been saying this for years. Diogo Dalot is not a Manchester United player. He's not good enough. But then you get people who's defending him for that. He's fantastic. He's world class. He's the best in the world. He is not fantastic. Like, I actually hear shouts before the World Cup saying he is the best fullback in the world. That is how delusional some of the fans can be at time to time. I can name a fullback worse than Dalot at defending, but the said fullback can attack better, James Tavernier. But the thing is, though, Dalot ain't good at anything, so it doesn't matter if he can defend or go forward. His crosses look like shots off target. It's clear Man United need to upgrade. The thing is, though, Ravi, and this is what I said, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take 3 transfer windows easily. And it's all dependent as well if the Glazers actually do sell up. It's good. They are still horrible like this season. Still gives us a chance of getting them out. Mays, will Shaw continue to be playing as a centre-back? I think maybe he probably is till the end of this season, to be honest. I think with Martinez being out, we need a left-footed player there in the centre-back role. I don't think Ten Hag is looking at us to be fully possession-based. If he was, then I think we'd be out of the side. Fernandez has improved in the team in terms of effective passes. It's the positioning. Hey there, Daz. I hope you are well. Thank you for coming in. I'm well. Thank you very much. United and Newcastle easily get top 4. We will drop points. Let's look at that table now. Jack has said something about the table, but so here's the table. We've still got a game in hand of Arsenal, and we played one more game than Liverpool, and Liverpool's got 4 points behind us. Brighton have still got 2 games in hand, so they've still got a possible 6 points, which will put them in 5th if they was to win both their games. Our game in hand is against Chelsea, and the thing is with Chelsea, it always screams draw every time we play against them. Don't remember the last time we actually got. I think the last time we got a win was like when Ander Herrera was the one who scored that goal. Hey there, Primer. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Ten Hag isn't a Premier League manager. I can see where you're coming from. I think for me, it's just I'm not going to give up on him easily. I'm just going to see, especially how next season's going to be. This season was always going to be a bit of an experiment season, and especially now the Glazers are selling up, it's going to be much harder in general anyway. United only have 5 players that I really want to keep, and that is Lisiandro, Varane, Cass, Ericsson, Garnacho. Do you know what's the crazy thing is as well, Andrew? And people say sell Casemiro, sell Varane. I don't understand. I genuinely do not understand it. How people would want to get rid of world class players, and I agree. They would be the 5 I would keep by a mile. Martial made more money for walking around for that 70 mins than I'll make for the next 20 years working full time. FD spoiled brat players. Honestly, it's our fault as well for giving these players high contracts, high money. They don't deserve it. These players who play, not many of them deserve the wages that they're on. Not a mile. And I agree with that Ten Hag is wanting to do this wage structure because I think it's absolutely spot on to do this wage structure. Martial's definitely not been on them wages, the wages that he is on. He's literally robbed the blind for 8 years. I think Luke Shaw, I think even he's on high money for the amount that he's been at Manchester United for. He's had more bad seasons than good. Not that I'm going to criticise him for this season because I think he's been great. Who else? I don't think Anthony and Lisiandro was on low wages at Ajax, and now we're giving them over 100 mil a week. It's crazy. Who actually does these contracts at Man United? They should be the real people who should be getting sacked. Not the only one. Would rather play one-legged Jones and Maguire. I agree with that, Reese. Honestly, I would. Anthony loves tricks. He should join a circus if he wants. Maisy, the answer to the regarding Dalot, that the fan base is getting overhyped and flip-flopping about him. Dalot is toilet, why some Man United fans say. I keep Sabitzer because we ain't going to spend heavy on the midfield either. Yeah, I would keep Sabitzer as well. I think Sabitzer is a great player. I have slagged off Bruno, but I think he's had a shocking 12 months, but last 2 months been easily our best player. I agree with that as well. I think Bruno, I think he's definitely improved in certain areas, but the thing is, people are looking back going, oh, look at Bruno, he scored over 10 plus goals that season and he's not done it this season. Why is that? But you need to look at how he's improving for the team, and I think Bruno is playing less as an individual player and more as a team player, and that's something that I will respect Bruno for. And I think at the moment he's probably the only worthy player I have in the captaincy. And Varane would be a good shout as well, but he's always injured. What philosophy do you see under Erik ten Hag? I think counter-attacking football, to be honest, rather. Fast counter-attacking football. Hey there, Jonathan Johnson. Good to see you. It's been a while. Hope that you are well. United need another big midfielder. He has elevated your game to the next level with his quality. I agree with that, and not a lot of people will. When he's not on it, the drop in quality is concerning. I know you're linked to. I don't know if you've seen the news today, Jack, but Ugarte is apparently open at staying at Sporting. He'd be one that I'd take. I'd take Palhinha. I'm not a fan of Frankie de Jong, I must be honest. Trying to think who I like a few. I like McAllister, I like Casado, but it's just about the realism. I just don't think we are going to be spending big in this transfer window, especially whilst the Glazers are in this bidding war. And this is why I don't really want to talk too much about this transfer window. I've not done much streams about transfers, is because I genuinely think if we're not going to sell this in the summer, or we're not going to get rid of players who are a free, we're not going to get anyone. We're going to get 2 players at tops. Maze, who is the spine of that team for you? I'd probably say Bruno Fernandes, because it's like if Bruno Fernandes doesn't play well, the team doesn't play well. Bruno doesn't show up, the team doesn't show up. Maze, did you expect United to have the season you have in this season? If you want me to be honest, rather, I did predict Manchester United to finish 5th. At parts, I do say, yes, we've improved because we've got some great wins. But under the same breath, we should be doing a lot better in games as well. But I didn't expect us to be in the top 4 at the moment, and I didn't expect us to win the Carabao Cup. So I do think we have improved in that aspect, and you can see what Ten Hag is doing. I think he's a fantastic manager. But I do think at time to time, we're lacking that mentality, and this is what the team needs to breed on, the mentality. What's in there of Varane, Casemiro, Lisiandro, they are mentality winning players, and this is what the team needs to thrive off. Dad, Maisy, are you good at quizzes? To be honest, I don't do many quizzes. I get really nervous when I do quizzes. I did do a quiz on Football Power Hour 2 weeks ago. I did come second. But I don't know. I don't know how well I'd do it if I was to do it. With Rashford as well, if he's not scoring, he's not providing any other way. Spot on, Gary. It feels like for me, Rashford is a very, very greedy player. When he scores, fantastic. 26 goals, fantastic. But then it's like he doesn't like to. I think this is the problem with the front three. Anthony doesn't like to pass. He passes to certain individuals, Bruno, Ericsson, and Cass. Martial doesn't get the ball. He's lazy. He loses the ball anyway. Rashford doesn't like to pass. He likes to shoot. This is the people saying we need a striker. We need a striker. But apart from Bruno, who's going to provide for this striker? This striker is going to have to provide for himself and score. And this is why, for me, I would rather take Harry Kane than Osimhen, because Harry Kane does provide for himself. He's done it plenty of times for England, and he's done it plenty of times as well for Tottenham, which you will probably agree on as well, Gary. His touch is awful. Can't pass, can't hold up, can't link up. Completely agree. We should change the system either way. Play a stat system or 4-3-3-2 pretends. We're not creating enough, especially through the middle, is my big concern. We're not creating enough in general. We're just passing it to Rashford on the long ball, which is getting very expected now, and then hoping for the best, and we can't be playing like that. Hey there, Football Fiera. I hope that you are well. Thank you for coming into the chat. I did not watch the game as I covered Napoli, but big up Brighton, great season. You can't even criticise Brighton. I completely agree. Brighton has been fantastic this season. The way they play is unbelievable. Best scouting in the world as well. So yeah, Brighton, they're worthy of being in the Europa League by a country mile. Watch United waste 5 months on Frankie de Jong on sign Rakitic on a free or something. Until we sell the club, forget the targets. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Exactly what I've said. No culture at Old Trafford anymore. Only greed. Glazers out. I completely agree with that, Primark, 100%. And there is people who will always chant Glazers out. People who go to the games. People on the app will always say Glazers out. People on podcasts. But the problem is that you're getting certain people who only say Glazers out when, one, we've lost, or two, when the transfers are not going well. And this is what the problem is, and why rival fans think we only chant Glazers out when stuff is going wrong. Glazers out should be trending every day, no matter what. Because we do the parasites at the end of the day. They are ruining the club. They're draining everything we've got in this club. And the sooner we get rid of them, the better. But if you want me to be honest, I'm taking things with a pinch of salt in terms of the Glazers, because I just think they're in this for greed, this bidding war, and I won't be surprised if they get Jim Ratcliffe, because I don't know if people have seen this of David Ermstrom. There is Class A, Class B shares. Class A shares are with the 20% that owns Manchester United. Class B shares is owned by the Glazer family. So Class B shares are much more powerful than Class A shares. So no matter what, they will get a larger say than what the Class A shares will say. So say, for example, Joel and Avram, they're still wanting to stay at Manchester United. And then Jim Ratcliffe comes in, he buys 50%, so he buys the other three Glazers out, the Glazers family out. So Avram, Joel's still there. They've got their Class B shares. And then Jim Ratcliffe buys the other three Glazers family Class B shares. Then Class B shares, because they have signed some kind of deal, only the Glazer family has these Class B shares. Jim Ratcliffe's shares will automatically change to Class A shares. And that means even though he owns 50% of Manchester United and Joel and Avram own 20% of Manchester United, they will still have a larger say of what goes on with Manchester United transfers, what goes on in the Manchester United board, what happens with anything with Manchester United. So we don't want the minority. We don't want Jim Ratcliffe. We need a full sale. Because if we have that full sale, the Glazers will have no say whatsoever. So regardless, with the minority or Jim Ratcliffe, they will still have the larger majority say. No away win for the top 9 for United is mad. Like, our away season is shocking. That needs to improve massively for next season for both teams. I completely agree with that, Jack. It's top 12 now. Ugh. If Tielemans is on a free, may as well snap him up. The problem is that Tielemans will demand high wages. I'm not a fan of Tielemans. I think that he is very sloppy in the box. He has given away a fair few penalties. And he doesn't play like he enjoys football. I don't like Tielemans. I wouldn't take Tielemans. But I understand why you would take him because he's on a free. Frankie de Jong would be my first choice as centre midfield, but if he doesn't come, immediately walk away. Yeah, I don't think he wants to come, and I think that he wants to. I think he wants to stay at Barcelona, if you want me to be honest. United need to get a strike partnership up front. I still think it's just going to take too long, to be honest, rather. You might end up with Harry Kane at this rate from Garrett. I would happily take Harry Kane. I really, really like Harry Kane. Maisy, who complements each other when they start together? Bruno Sabitzer, Lissandro Varane, Wan-Bissaka Antony. I even think Malacia and Jadon do well together as well. Flaws of De Gea and getting a new keeper. De Gea is up for contract in the summer. And personally for me, I would let him go. I love David Raya. I would happily take David Raya. But there's people who still like him, of course. Glazers out where it matters, not Glazers out because the club didn't spend 200 mil on something ridiculous like Neymar and Mbappe. Agreed. That's B. You want the B. Bang on Mays. A lot of people missed the point about this sale, and even the Glazers. It's not rich owners who spend we necessarily need. We need competent owners who know what they are doing. 100%. We want competent owners for the men's, the women's, the academy, who's able to do well for all parts of Manchester United. And it's not about who we sign or. I understand, like, you do need, like, very, very good. You do need very, very good owners, and that's why you look at City. They've done well because they've got owners who care. Newcastle's got owners who care. In the next few years, they're going to be a top club. Brighton's got owners who care. Brentford's got owners who care, and they show that they are Premier League clubs because they give the time and the effort, and they're bringing in players who are passionate, who loves the club. Nobody knows if Sheikh Jassim or Sir Jan Ratcliffe will become competent, but we know the Glazers are very, very incompetent, and that's why I wouldn't take Jim Ratcliffe. It's because he only wants the back. He can only afford 50%. So, if he can only afford 50%, the Glazers are still going to have the minority say. It's just a business to these owners who don't give a crap. That's why I don't like American owners, but I can't just obviously pin it down on American owners either under the same breath. Thank you, Devils. I was leaving until the whole scandal and what's the. Do you know, Gary? Right, I'll tell you something. Daniel Levy annoyed me really bad. So basically, what happens is that I don't know how much you watch of the women's football, but Daniel Levy said that the WSL should be a closed league, and the reason why is because Tottenham are at risk of getting relegated, and I just think, like, how can you, like, why would you say that you want the closed league? How is the game going to develop with a closed league? No relegation, no promotion. That means you can't play Champions League football. You're literally in a league for the fun of it, and it's just comments like that of greed, just so he can get a little bit more money to staying in the WSL. And I've always said that Daniel Levy, if you was an owner or you was a businessman or whoever, you would never do business with Daniel Levy. He's one of the most greediest owners you can imagine. Any updates on the buyers, including the Saudis, still in currently the bidding war right now. I genuinely think Man United need the Brighton keeper. I like Sanchez, but the problem is that Sanchez has been dropped by Brighton, and you need to question why is he being dropped by Brighton. And if you look at this, if you look at saves, if you look at distribution, feet work, blah 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 blah, it isn't that much better than De Gea's. I like Raya if we're gonna get a keeper. Exactly, I love Raya. Maisy, you should do this with Sophia. Absolutely, Daz. Me and Sophia is definitely discussing about linking up very, very soon. We've just both keep missing each other. It's crazy these shares. Was watching a video yesterday. Imagine giving up a larger share percentage but still having more control. Exactly. It's absolutely ridiculous. David Raya has the most saves and cross claims in the Premier League this season. Brighton doing well. Why was Sanchez not playing? Sanchez has been dropped a lot this season. I don't know why. I just don't think he's been that well, but Steele's been fantastic. Thinking about it, we haven't even got a women's manager and let alone first team manager. Yeah, because Hughes had a Skinner just like us and she got sacked. Not long after you played against us at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but the interim manager isn't doing much better. But you've put a lot of investment in that women's team this season, so there should be no excuse why you're at where you are. Man United need to sign AC Milan player. That's my Ingram, and I think he's fantastic. But the problem is with Mike Mangum is that we're not going to get him. It's going to be very, very unrealistic. Signing like Dan Burn, Trippier would, even though he fails. Smart signings, people who know the league. Exactly. And then they'll just build and build upon from that as well. Question, Mays, how long are you giving Ten Hag realistically? You can't give a time frame for me. In terms of how long can you give Ten Hag? He's on a 3-year contract. I would like to say we're at least competing by the 3rd year, but it's just all going to depend on the ownership situation for me. Both our owners are going nowhere. Money, money, money. Unfortunately. Mays, was you gutted about that late Sam Kerr winner? I was gutted, I must be honest. Andrew, but the problem is that Sam Kerr, she's a fantastic player, and we shouldn't have got ourselves to the point where we need Chelsea to drop points just so we can win the league. We should have got a win against Everton, and we should have got a win against Manchester City. Both our losses has come from Chelsea, and we deserve to lose both them games. But as soon as I seen Chelsea won the second game against us, I knew that we're not going to win the league, and it's just realistic hope. Who's your pick for manager of the year? I'm gonna have to say Unai Emery for me. I think he's been fantastic on Nick Pope. Eddie Howe is another one that who's in contention for me. Somebody beat Chelsea for us, please. Can't see it, unfortunately. Depending on what happens with the ownership, United should be still trying. But Ravi, I don't think you're understanding that we have got so many players who are not one, got the mentality to win, compete for the league, and 2, we don't have players who want to compete for the league. We need to have hungry players and not players based off price tag and not players based off the certain names. I agree we should be still doing better with the squad we've got, but it's still a very unbalanced squad at this moment in time. Look at Klopp. It took Klopp years and years and years to get to the point where Liverpool has got to. Erik Ten Hag has got a very unbalanced squad of Fergie signings, Van Gaal signings, Jose Mourinho and Ollie signings. He's got loads of different. It's an unbalanced squad, and with an unbalanced squad, you cannot compete or win the league. It's as simple as that. You need to have a team that is well balanced and suits the manager's tactics. But I'm going to quickly do the player ratings before I do wrap up, because I was doing a little bit in my rant. But everyone, also get your thoughts into all this. Let me know what your thoughts are for the ratings. We'll start with David De Gea's rating. I think for me, with David De Gea, I think he single-handed kept Manchester United in that game for a long time, and I think if it wasn't for De Gea, we would have had 2, 3, 4-0 down. So I think De Gea was fantastic. Didn't do much wrong in terms of distribution, and I've been very critical with De Gea with his distribution. There was nothing he could really do realistically in terms of the penalty, but I'm gonna give him a 7. I think he was definitely our best player. I just want to say thank you so much, Gareth, for the £1.99 super chat. Means a lot. 100% about the balanced team. And you'll agree with this as well, Gary, is you've got an unbalanced team yourself at Tottenham. You've got Poch signings, you've got Jose signings, you've got Conte signings. There's nothing you can realistically do about winning the league or competing for the league with such an unbalanced team. But thank you, Garrett, for the 199 super chats. Means so much. Andrew's gone for 8 for De Gea. Niall's gone for 6 for De Gea. Jack's got an 8 for De Gea. Ravi's got an 8 for De Gea. Reese has got an 8 for De Gea. And hey there, Static. Thank you for coming in. Hope that you are well. So we'll go on to the next player now, Dolo. I think winning the league. What's that? I feel sorry for you. Like you're a really decent Tottenham fan, honestly, Gary, and it's a shame really, because you've got some great players, you've had some great managers, and it's just never worked out for Tottenham, and that's when you've got to look at Enoch and you've got to look at Levy. They're just not good enough, and they've had so much backing by the team. And thank you as well, Andrew, so much for the super chat. Means so much. £4 super chat. Thank you. F Maguire /Shaw. And thank you, Reese, so much for the super chat. Really means so much. Player gets rated, we know, but Maisy always elite and phenomenal. I can see what Delo's getting rated in the chat. I'll go to his rating a little bit soon. Very sloppy, give the ball away a lot. He wasn't great in his one-on-ones. Can't defend for Toffee. Can't go forward for Toffee. I could see some very generous ratings. 3.5. I'm gonna say it was our worst center. It was our worst defender on the pitch. I can't explain how much this guy is not a Manchester United player. He is not good enough, and he should not be in a. If you want to compete for the league, he is not a player you put in a starting 11. Jack's gone for 6 for Delo. Luke has gone 4 for Delo. Niall's gone 4. Andrew's gone 5. Ravi's got 2. Reese has gone 0. Shaw 4. Oh, thank you as well for another super chat as well, Gary. Really means so much for the £4.99 super chat. Don't get me wrong, this season isn't on Levy because of Conte's dinosaur negative tactics. You know what? I agree with that. I think the thing is that you can't play a back 5 with the squad you've got. I think Conte, he's won everything where he's got, but he has had a lot of backing, and he should be doing a lot better with the squad he's got. You can't play back 5 and rely on to go on a counter attack and with Son not doing well, Richarlison, it's just been all about Harry Kane. But thank you so much. I know you've donated like £6, so thank you very, very much for that, Gary, and thank you again, Reese, and thank you again, Andrew, as well. Next player now, Luke Shaw. if you want me to be honest, I don't think Luke Shaw actually had a bad game. I did think he played well, and I just think he was very unfortunate with that penalty decision. I actually thought he was our second best defender on the pitch. I can't rate him. I don't want to rate him low because I'm doing it based off of performance, and I can't rate him low based off of one decision what's been made. So I'm just gonna go for a bang average 5. Andrew's gone for 6 for sure. Victor Lindelof. He hasn't had a good game either. Andrew's gone. Now's got 7 for Shaw. Shaw man of the match 10. 6. 5 from Rather. Victor Lindelof, he was quite sloppy. I think he did help us a little bit from time to time, but there was a terrible pass that he done in that first half. Passed it to Mitoma. Mitoma should have made it 1-0. He really should have made it 1-0. But Luke Shaw did play better than Victor Lindelof. So I'm gonna put one lower, 4.5 for Victor Lindelof. Gary again, another £4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. It's no surprise Conte wins the league with other teams that are going through a rebuild and then flips when there's competition. Sorry, last Spurs one. Honestly, I really appreciate all the super chats. You have donated so much, so thank you very much, Gary. And I'm happy to talk any type of football, honestly. It doesn't matter if it's Spurs, Man United, Sporting. I'm happy to talk any football. You don't need to apologise at all. Lindelof was amazing against Villa. Not so good tonight. Exactly. To our lump and Maisy with the tough ratings. Garrett, I rate Lindelof. I really do like Lindelof. But the problem is that he is quite on and off. I do definitely think we should keep him, but he's not a starting 11 player either. Hey there, Miss Molina. I hope that you are well. Thank you for coming into the chat. Just no Liverpool. Yeah, only if we're bantering him, of course. 4.5, Lindelof 5, Lindelof 4. Okay, yeah. So we'll go on to the next rating now. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka was the best defender on the pitch. He was able to keep Mitoma quiet for 8 times out of 10. He basically kept that right hand side very quiet, and he did go forward quite a few times, and we did see some great connection there with Wan-Bissaka and Antony. So I think they're really working very well together. So I'm not gonna rate De Gea. I'm gonna rate De Gea the highest. With this is the problem because I think Wan-Bissaka done well. I'm gonna give him the same score as De Gea. I'm gonna give him a 7 just because I think he was fantastic. Wan-Bissaka 8 from Andrew, 8 from Niall, 7.5 from Reese. Man of the match Wan-Bissaka. Not a problem, thank you. 8 for Wan-Bissaka, 6 for Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, so we'll do Casemiro now. Casemiro, he did some great tackles. He nearly got a goal with his header. He should have been sent off. I'm going to give Casemiro a 5.5 because I still, yet again, don't think it was his best game. Because I do think he should have been sent off, but he was a bit of a hit and miss for me. So I'm going to give him a 5.5. He was lucky that he's got that rating, to be honest. Casemiro, hit and miss, 6. Casemiro, 5 fair. So we'll go on to Fred now. I'm going to be honest, Fred was woeful. Like, Fred was absolutely shocking. I genuinely don't know why Fred started, and I think Fred should have been subbed off well earlier than what he should have been. I'm gonna give Fred a 4. He was nowhere near good enough for me, in my opinion. He was shocking. He you know what? I'm gonna give him the same rating as actually Dolo. 4.5, 3.5. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Couldn't press, couldn't pass, made some silly mistakes. His interceptions were shocking. I don't understand it. He's just very hot and cold from time to time, Fred. 6 from Gaz, that's probably about Cass. Fred garbage tonight, 3. Fred Flintstone, 2. Fred 4. So we'll do Marcus Rashford now. Rashford, he was another player who was shocking. He wasn't well on his one-on-ones. His shooting was shocking. He couldn't pass the ball. I didn't even see him do a single cross. He basically was there to even out the numbers. Let's be real. Because apart from that, I genuinely do not know what Marcus Rashford done in that game. I really don't have a clue. And I'm gonna give him the same ratings what I'll give Fred and Dolo. I'm gonna give him a 3.5 just because yet again he was not good enough, and as I said, he was just there to make up the numbers. He was there for no other reason. Thank you, Reese, for the other £5 super chat. You have donated a lot as well, £10. Thank you so much. Brendan, Mays become director of football for Man United. First order of business, Martial and Gallo sold to Everton. That's a bit nasty for Everton, to be honest, Reese, but thank you very much for that. Luca, you need to sell Fred. The players had to sell before Fred, but yeah, he isn't good enough to be a starting 11 player. Nice, 5 super chats. Yeah, from 3 very generous, amazing people. So thank you, Garrett, Reese, and Andrew for the super chats. It means a lot. Maisy, what did you think of the linesman tonight? Shocking. Just as the ref, to be honest. Rate Fred. Think he's excellent bar tonight. I think he's great with his pressing. He's a great player overall. I don't think he's a starting 11 player, but he's an excellent squad player to have. Rashford 4, Casemiro 5. The reason being his decision making for a world class player past few games are being wayward, and that worries me big time. When he does it simple, he's absolutely brilliant. I agree. Casemiro 5, Fred 4, Rashford 5.5. I do think Cass should have been sent off. Yeah, I do think Casemiro should have been sent off. I do agree with that completely, Luca. Fred can't play against good pressing teams, not bad other teams. Do you know what the problem is, Andrew? Is I've always said when one player presses, the press really breaks, and only Bruno and Fred press in a game. And when there's only 2 out of 11 players who press, it just really breaks it down. And the players just really underperform. So we're going to go now for Bruno Fernandes. He did the ball away a fair few times. He did do some nice balls in the box. He wasn't the worst player on the pitch. I'd probably say he was bang average, to be honest. 5.5. I'm going to give him a 5. Bang average. Yeah. Not really much to say about Bruno. Not good, not bad. He tried, but average. Andrew tried a lot. 6 again from Bruno. So we'll go Bruno 5.5 only because he tried to do more, but that's the bare minimum. We'll go on to Anthony now. I actually think out of the forward line, Anthony was actually the best player on the pitch. In terms of the forwards, he did put the most shots in the box. He crossed. He was the only forward player who crossed. He had great connection with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He tracks back. He does give the ball away very cheaply. He does have a massive temper on him, and that really does cost him. But I do genuinely think that he was the best forward player on the pitch. And he did do a fair few shots. So I'm gonna go, and he did try tonight. He did really try, but I can't give anything more than what I'm gonna give Anthony 5.5, just because he still wasn't good enough whatsoever. So I think he was above average, but but you can't rate a player more than 5 who isn't good whatsoever. For Bruno, not his best game, not his worst. What are we rating the ref, the linesmen, the subs, the fans? Anthony, 10 out of 10 for dodginess, 2 out of 10 for quality, overall 5. Yeah, 5 I think's fair. VAR rating, VAR got it right. I'd say 10 out of 10 for VAR. Anthony 5, average tonight. Anthony 0. I'm shocked by that. Anthony 6.5. No one matched his work rate or even tried to do anything from the wide areas and cutting in. Taz gets a 10 from me. Thank you very much, Gaz. How much is Man United season ticket? My renewal was £1,000. I don't have a season ticket Man United, but some people are telling me it's between £550 and £980 for the very best seats. So that's what I think. That's what people are saying, but how true it is, I don't know. Maisy, always 10 out of 10. Thank you, rather. So we'll end up with Martial. Can't pass, can't shoot. He dives. Let's be real. He dives. You know what? Worst 1. I am not rating this guy any higher than a 1. He was a waste. He was a genuine waste of space. And how he stayed on for the length of time he did, I do not know. I don't have a clue. And I would much rather have played Wagos, and that is saying something. He was shocked. He was absolutely shocking. I'm not giving him any more than a 1. Fartiel, I'm going to call him from now on. Fartiel. Maze gets more than a 10. She gets a growl. Thank you, Reese. Martial was shocking. 3. Gareth, Jesus, my trousers get pulled down by Lever. I think from what I read, it was Spurs and Arsenal who's got the most expensive season tickets, what I heard. But I don't know how true that is yet again, because I'm reading it off an article. But this is my ratings. De Gea 7, Dolo 3.5, Shaw 5, Lindelof 4.5, Aaron Wan-Bissaka 7, Cass 5.5, Ericsson 3.5, Rashford 3.5, Bruno 5, Anthony 5.5, Martial is 1. So we've got the man of the match. So if everyone puts in who your man of the match is, I'll leave it over to you to decide. Whoever gets the highest rating for the man of the match, they will get. It will be the case. So I'll quickly put it in the poll, and then you can decide then of who you want on there as the player of the match. Player of the match, McAllister. Well, yeah, I know player of the match was McAllister, but I mean player of the match from a Manchester United player, not from overall play. But if you're looking at overall play, I agree. McAllister was player of the match. It is a close one between De Gea and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Reece has gone De Gea, and now it's gone Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Both good options. I give them both 8s from Andrew. And as it stands, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is currently winning. So I'll give it 2 more minutes. But I just want to give a big shout out again, Gary, Reese, and Andrew. Thank you so much for the super chats. If you do want me to continue doing these reviews, I'm more than happy to do the reviews if you do want me to do them. I did enjoy the review, despite, of course, the unfortunate loss. But if you do want me to continue with them, let me know. I'll happily do more reviews from future reference. Ravi's gone for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And as it stands, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's on 67%. So might as well just give Aaron Wan-Bissaka the play of the match, aren't we? So we can wrap up. So there, Wan-Bissaka, he's got the play of the match from a Manchester United point of view. and he's got a 7. So, yeah. Thank you very, very much for the super chats. Thank you all. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you are watching back, give your ratings. Maze, I'm going to drop 10. If you're quick, Reese, about it, just because I do want to wrap up. Fulham's mad for a normal match day ticket. £90 to watch Fulham. Crikey. Dad, how come there is only one game on Sky on Sunday? Not. I think because there's a 3:00 game what's on Sky, so I think they're moving it due to the King's coronation. Maze, any WSL watch alongs coming? The next watch along I'm doing for the United women will be the FA Cup final. I'm actually at the game on Sunday for the Tottenham. And then after that, we've got the FA Cup final, which I'll do a watch along for next Sunday. And then after that, City at home, which I'll see live. And then I'll do Liverpool away as a watch along. Your match reactions are great. Keep them coming. Yep, I sure will do if that's what you do want me to do. Ten Hag on the penalty. It is a handball. Maybe he's out of balance, or maybe he got pushed in the back. My anger is more about the free kick before the corner. It was never a free kick. There are so many bad tackles tonight. Yeah, there was many bad tackles. Same again with Manchester United. Both teams, they did play poor. Both teams got away with yellows. So I do think it's unfair just to criticise the free kick, because you need to criticise the forward players. None of them were nowhere near good enough. Very good show tonight. Thank you very much, Andrew, and thank you again for the super chat. Thank you, as always, for coming into our lumber. I'll be next live again. It'll be most likely on Tuesday now. I'll be doing a debate show. The debate show is who is at fault for failure of football. So go and check that out. Tuesday, 8:00. Got some great guests coming on. This show's been fantastic. More, please. Yep, of course I will do. Well, I was going to say Saturday's coronation day for Prince Charles. Very well deserved for Brighton from Foxer. Hope you're well, Foxy. Thanks for coming in. Such a good team, but zero end product. Matoma is very annoying to watch. I think for me, Matoma should have had a few goals, but I do think he should have got a yellow card, because that dive in the first half was horrendous, and I really don't like it when players dive, and they should get yellow cards when they dive. But overall, the better team did win. Thank you so much as well, Rather. Thank you as well, Jack. Thank you very much. United didn't help themselves by looking for free kicks a lot. There are genuine fouls that went unpunished. Exactly. And I think when you've got a player who dives constantly, and when it's a genuine foul, you don't get it. And that's what you get when you constantly dive. But I'm well. Thank you, Foxy. I hope you are well. And thank you again, Gary, for the super chat. Thank you, Reese, and thank you as well to Andrew. I'll wrap it up here. Have a lovely weekend, all. Enjoy the West Ham game. Check out the debate show Tuesday at 8:00. As I say, got some great guests on. Take it easy. Don't get too drunk this weekend, all. Bye-bye.